Okay, System 333 on air, welcoming our second international guest today, my friend here, Nick, a business analyst from Belarus. Met in a nightclub last time I was overseas, which was in Belarus 1 year before. Good to have you on the show, Nick. How's everything going over on the other side of the world in Belarus? We don't know too much about what goes on there in Australia.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you, Zach. Nice to meet you, and nice to see you. We just in Messenger send text messages. It's not a good. I want to meet you together in the nightclub, maybe. Yeah,
And now we're on Zoom, which is the next. Now
yeah.
many businesses, many people are using this format to interact, and we can't even go to nightclubs anymore in Sydney. So you still have nightclubs open right now in Belarus. Is that correct? Even with the pandemic?
We can we can go at nightclub.
Are there many
We-
people?
uh, Yeah, now for me, it feels like our country win this pandemic. We
Really?
won. We are champions.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I saw the
yeah.
coronavirus cases, but they were reasonably high. So what was it? What was the story? How did it all happen when it first started?
We didn't close anything like borders. We didn't close something. We just stay at home, and if you don't if you didn't have any chance to work from home, you can work from your local and standard workplace, and even if you are working on a factory, you can go to a factory and work there.
Yeah,
But we we closed only some restaurants, some bars, and it was in spring and early summer, and now all businesses are working, and we can meet each other with our friends on the streets, on the uh, bars, and it's not a problem. We also we uh, have masks, a lot of masks,
so everybody's
but
wearing masks at the moment in Belarus. Many people are wearing masks.
no. For now, I think for now only policeman goes or policemen go with mask, because we have a lot of we have a lot of protests, and they didn't want, or they don't want
Show their face.
to seek leave, to go to seek leave. Yeah, and yeah, they don't share this his face, their face. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. So at the moment in Belarus, a lot's happened. So a bit of a background story of how we met, guys. So last year I was in Belarus. I was visiting my friend who was living there from America. Um, Now I was only in Belarus for like a few days, so I wasn't there for too long. But on my final night, um, to get the drinks.
Uh, yeah. Um, uh, as I remember, I just saw you, and you're shocked, you're stressed, and I just want to help you.
Yeah, that's right. It was
Because
a funny
you
situation.
you looked like you don't understand what happened, what do you do, what you should do, where are you a lot of
Yeah. It was a
men,
pretty fucked up
girls.
situation because I wasn't meant to be there because I was meant to leave early, but I spent the money on the table and I wanted to keep drinking. Okay, because I paid for the drinks, and
Yeah,
I still had like in Belarusian ruble maybe I've got to check the conversion, but I remember how much in Australian dollars. I had almost 200 Belarusian rubles I had on the table for drinks, and I had to finish it.
Yeah, it's terrible. This bar is not good. Yeah, I don't like this bar, Mama Stifler. So I think there are a lot of beautiful places, and there are a lot of lovely and sweet places. But a lot of girls a lot of girls go to these bars because men from another country still coming in these places and spend a lot of money for tables and drinks. Yeah,
Yeah, it was worth it, but I
it's
think the biggest
terrible.
thing is I wasn't ready to drink that much. So when you saw me, I'd already drank a lot. Like I drank so
Yeah,
much, man. I was fucking pretty drunk. I think actually, to tell you the truth, to this day I haven't drank that much since I came back to Australia. That was a lot that I drank. And that trip I only started drinking a lot at the end of the trip. So by the time you saw me, I was in I don't know how many vodkas I had, but we had a good conversation, and you were very friendly to me, and we actually started speaking about life. And you told me you have done a bit of travel as well. You were living in Poland before, and then you moved back to Belarus to uh, teach people the business analysis, and help business people in Belarus. So I want you to tell me about your story in Poland. Why did you move to Poland from Belarus, and what was the difference between living in Minsk and then moving over to Poland?
so we working in IT sphere. It's a good opportunity to work from anywhere. You can change your country each year. If you want, you can work from Malaysia. You can work from Australia. You can work even from Antarctica, if you can. Yeah,
You'll freeze,
but
man.
but you can do it, and you want to see the world, and from Poland, from Lithuania, we have a lot of low costs which take you and bring to see in in 2 hours. Yeah, well, and it spent something like $20, 20 Australian
To
dollars.
travel.
Yeah, yeah, and you can lie on the beach and drink something like margarita or beer. Yeah,
And you can work.
pro, yeah, and work. Yeah, Wi-Fi is anywhere. But from my country, I can buy ticket only for something like 100 and a half or $200 to for this trip.
Hmm.
Yeah, and we have only 100 kilometers, oh no, not 200 kilometers to another airport from Poland, from Lithuania.
Yeah. So basically, you have
It's all is near. It's all is near our country, but we don't have low costs in Belarus.
yeah, because a lot of people. So the people that don't know where Belarus is between Poland, between Russia, and with the Baltic countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia north of it. And the one thing with Belarus is, with its history, is it was formerly occupied by Russia. Is this correct? Previously by the Soviet Union, it was occupied.
So no, it's not correct. Our grandfathers and grandmothers, they and the grandpa and grandma from our grandpa and grandma have a hard life, and it's not a choice by them. It's
Government.
it what yeah it just something like one man is his decision is connect to Russia and something like that. Yeah, for now we independent country, but I don't know what we see in the next year. Next year, I don't
So
know.
with what happened in Belarus, so you had the pandemic. Now you guys said the pandemic now is over. Like Belarus is normal, operating fine, no more lockdown.
Yeah, no lockdown. We have only we have a small growing of pandemic cases, but it's not catastrophic. We just manage it by not by government, by each man and women in our country. We just manage by ourselves. Yeah. Now, what about our situation? For now, we had elections. We elect a president, but uh, we we disagree these results almost 16%
The people.
of people, yeah, of people disagree with this result, and we are going to our streets with peaceful protests. We didn't and don't break any window. We don't break cars. We just uh, we also get our rubbish into recycled bins after our protests, and our streets our streets are looked beautiful as before we are
So you
going
clean up
protest.
after the protest. People clean
Yeah,
up.
definitely. Yeah, and but president thinks that almost 80% is elected for him, and he just don't doesn't want to go out.
Yeah,
It's
and that's the
terrible.
thing. So in Australia, the government's a bit quite different. So we have what's called a democracy. Now, whether people want to believe a democracy exists or not is a different question, right? A lot of people don't believe that the Australian government really is a democracy, and we've had a lot of issues with leaders. So, one thing for those of you who don't know the leader in Belarus, it's something Shenko. What's his name?
Alexander Lukashenko.
Yeah, that's it. Alex. So I can't remember his full name, but Alexander Lukashenko. That's right. So he has ruled Belarus for how many years now has he been leader?
26 years.
He's been in rule for 26 years, which has been even through the Soviet period, right? The 90s, 1990s.
3 years, yeah, 3 years after Soviet Union is out,
Yeah, so in
was
Australia,
out.
we've
Yeah.
never ever experienced leadership for this long. We've never had a prime minister that has been in power for 26 years. We've had prime ministers that have served a lot more time. We have a prime minister, Robert Menzies. He's had the longest service in office, but he had two separate periods, kind of like Vladimir Putin, who had two separate periods of rule, right? In the early 2000s, then later on. Um, but in Belarus, what has life been like over the period of the last 20 years from going to school to working under the rule of one leader?
Yeah, our country is growing. It can see everybody who can who can flight in our country, but for future growing, we need to change. But our president said everything is fine, stable situation is good, no changes, no change. Without change, no growing. I think
So
so.
what do you think? What is the mentality affecting young Belarusian people now in wanting to make that change? What do you think is stopping?
Young Belarusian people, old Belarusian people, standard Belarusian people. There are a lot of people on the streets who want to change, and and this amount of people is more than and a half of whole country, and we just want to change one person, and after that we just want to grow our country, growing, fast growing, because we have IT sphere, but for now IT sphere going to another country, just bring their companies, their projects, and just relocate peoples, just relocate whole families with these with brains, with minds, because you know Ukraine has war with Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my friends going to Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, and working from Kiev because it's safety than from Belarus. We don't have a war. It's misunderstanding maybe, but for now we have internet issues. We just have 2 days when internet was
Cut out.
was locked, and stopped. Somebody pushed a button and stopped like a conveyor on a factory. Yeah, and after that we just change. Our life it was changed, and for example, IT sphere, a lot of businesses, a lot of potential customers and current customers want stable situation, wants minimize risks, and after internet issues, they want to just they just say bring our business from Belarus to another country. We don't want to have this issue because for example, project sits in one project sits in Belarus, and after internet issue they can resolve customers problems. No support, no project activities. It's terrible.
Yeah, because there's no internet to do the work.
Yeah.
And this is something that happened in Kashmir. So I'm half Kashmiri, which is in between India and Pakistan. So basically in Kashmir, what happened was they cut off the internet for many days, many months. And it actually was in this period of time I was in Belarus because I couldn't speak with my father for some time because there was no internet to contact him. So what this did was it had an effect on the local economy. So no businesses could operate properly. It was very difficult for people to communicate with each other, which, because you have to remember, Nick, that when we use the internet, we're not even talking just, business calls, all this. We're talking this day-to-day messaging, SMS, WhatsApp, everything, which is very important for the human communication. And when you have this problem with the internet, it stops the country from being able to progress, to move forward.
Yeah. We have each Sunday locked down for internet because I and
every
my
Sunday
friends,
for how long? For how many months?
Yeah. Last month after 9th of August. Yeah,
How many days
this
altogether? For how many days?
no, one day, no, just
Only
one day,
one.
just
Only one day. One
yeah,
Sunday.
it yeah, no one Sunday, each Sunday,
Wait, so
because
one day a week
on
there's an internet lockdown in Belarus. One day a week.
yeah, it's not yeah. The first lockdown was on work week from Monday to Wednesday, but on Sunday we can go to the streets and show our government that there are a lot of us, so a lot, and we want to speak with our government, but our government ignores us.
Now, I want to speak about a bit about what you work in, like your field of study, business analysis. Um, so, what do you teach your students, and how do you help them get the goal they want to get?
Uh, Teach it's my hobby. It's not my main work because yeah, I also work as a business analyst and as a layer between customer and development team, and I need a lot of conversation, and I have a lot of conversation in a day. So yeah, and I teach my students that if you want to be a business analyst, you need to you need to speak so a lot, so you can imagine, because almost 50% 50% of your time you just need to spend during conversation. You just need to negotiate something problems. You just need to collect requirements. You need to define requirements and
That's it. Because when you're working a job, when you're working in business, you're constantly always, as you said, negotiating. That was the word you used, negotiating. And what people don't understand is negotiating is very mental taxing, because you're also thinking a lot when you're doing the negotiation. How can this work? What is the most important way to make this happen? You know, and it uses a lot of mental energy.
yeah, you're quite right about that. And what I want to add, it's hard. It's hard to negotiate something problems between camera without face contact. Without, you have only something like eye contact, but it's problem. Something any customers don't uh, doesn't click on camera and doesn't start video call, just only audio call. It's a problem. You need to prove something. You need to clarify something. You need to show your
Personality.
hands. Yeah, and you don't see. You don't see your customer. You don't see opponent. It's a problem. It's why.
It's 100% true. And you know one thing in my company, you know, in what we're doing, we used to meet face to face all the time, you know, and we understand it's different when we talk to people face to face. Is you get to understand their humor, like laugh with them, things like this. You can see what's it called? Their full expression, their facial expression, all this. And also the most important thing, Nick, is that when you shake someone's hand or when you say hello to someone or when there's face to face eye contact, the chemical oxytocin is released. I don't know if you've heard of this chemical, but it's the bonding chemical which is used so that people can communicate more effectively. Now, how did you find that video call in compared to face had an effect with your customer? What probably the one main issue you had?
Customer base, it's not a problem for me. Okay, I just type my my minds. I type my negotiations, and okay, you It's easy to switch on camera, but if customer doesn't want, it's
It's difficult.
yeah, it's difficult to understand. I don't know. When during kickoff session, I started a video from my side, and sometimes maybe we are working without camera. Okay, okay, but I'm business analyst. I need to see reaction from my for my words. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you think video call consulting, video call selling, will be the way people will sell?
Yeah,
They
of
will
course, of
focus on
course.
this.
Yeah. So everybody switches to work remotely,
Mhm.
of course, and teach people, learn something. There are a lot of courses. There are a lot of academic which prepared students, which prepared specialists remotely, but the most thing of this academic, it's these courses without any mentors. But then you see mentors, then mentor can explain you your problems, your issues, your questions. It's the main point of each teaching process, because I can learn something remotely. I can learn something from my phone, but I need a person who asked my question. Yeah,
Exactly, and that's the importance of where I still believe that although you cannot meet face to face, if you do everything remotely via video call, it's a good substitute. Although it will never be the same, it still gets the job done. It's still effective way of communication.
yeah. And for my from my groups, from my students, uh, I prefer working with camera. Always show me, but my students want to be want to work without camera, and sometimes it looks like yeah, I speak with nobody because I see nobody, and I just listen to silence. Camera is our uh, mirror. Yeah,
Yeah, it's become the new apparatus for support to be able to make sure that we can continue doing what we were doing before the pandemic and trying to make that as effective as possible. So I believe there's been a big change in the way people work now. And we will see this change even coming into 2021, 2022. I think what you said before was very interesting, Nick, about people going from Belarus to work overseas, in Ukraine or Lithuania or Poland. We have this saying in Australia, it's called digital nomad, where people take their laptops and they work remotely. Um, do you see the potential of remote work basically meaning that any country can employ any employee out of any country and do work, and they will can get a paid a salary in that country's local currency? Do you see this now? The workplace, the labor workplace can hire anybody anywhere in the world. Do you think this is possible?
uh, for now it's possible, but each country have local employees have um, more preferences, more opportunities of the local country than new. For example, if I visit Ukraine, I can work from Ukraine, but and I can get a salary maybe which I need. So, but I have not have so much preferences and opportunities in Ukraine as Ukrainian employer.
Yeah, so you will be still you'll still be working in the Ukraine, but the money will come from a Belarusian company. So the Belarusian company will pay you, but you won't have the same benefits as a Ukrainian employee. Is that correct? Working in a Ukrainian
Yeah,
company.
yeah. For now, our company has an office in Ukraine, and we have a lot of offices in different countries, and we can relocate to another country and be and each no, me or my colleagues, we can work not remotely. We can just relocate whole family,
And you'll be
and
fine to live there, so they don't need to get you to come back to Belarus, or you can stay there, you
yeah,
can
we
do what
can
you want.
back. We come back. Yeah, we can back to Belarus, but for now, I think I don't want to leave my country.
Okay, and why do you want to stay in Belarus with everything happening with the government? Why do you call Belarus home still?
So for now, I'm still waiting for our victory. We can our peaceful protest can finish, and we win. We win. We just the truth is win. Our truth,
And the people want to win. In Belarus, the people want to
yeah,
win. And this is the
yeah,
most important thing that I've been bringing up across probably the last 2 months has been part of my message, which is to have a winner's mindset, right? Because in this pandemic, a lot of people have laid over and said, well, life is fucked. Everything, the whole world has gone wrong. We can't leave our homes, blah, blah, blah. But I think the story of, the Belarusian people wanting to win, wanting to fight is important because this is something our country needs as well. Australia is lacking that winner's mindset. We don't have this mentality. And if only we could start thinking about winning more, not just as an individual, but as a collective, as a group of people,
yeah.
I will see the life change. And this is really the victory you guys want. So what as for you, what do you think is the most important thing to have this mentality, winner's mindset? Why do you think the Belarusian people care so much about winning? What is the mentality?
Uh, it it is in our DNA. We grant we sons of partisans, sons and daughters of partisans. Our grandparents were partisans during the World War, the Second World War, and we just country between Europe and Moscow on the road of Germany going to Moscow, and Moscow goes to Germany twice.
So it's in the DNA because the people they want to maintain the culture, they want to maintain the pride, everything. So that is important because in Kashmir is, which is where my father's from, is very similar because we have the oppression from the Indian government. We had gone through a lot of conquest from different countries, different rulers, different leaders, and the one thing Kashmiris care about, which is why Kashmiris are doing protest all the time, always protesting, is because they only care about winning. There is no way to lose for them. They have to win. It doesn't matter how
Yeah,
long the battle is, whether the battle is 10 years, 20 years, maybe the 26 years, your president being there 26 years. it's still, I don't care how long it takes me to win, we will win.
Yep. No deadlines. We have goals. We have objective for our government about elections and so on and so forth. But we have no deadlines. We need to win. We have to win, and we win.
Man, I love that message today, man. That message is so important for everybody. That there's fuck the pandemic. There's no deadline. You still have to win, right? I don't care if it ends tomorrow, if it ends next week. Man, I don't care if it ends the next time I go overseas. There's no deadline. We have to win. It just that's just the way it is, and it's very good message for today. How this has come to this point. But I want to thank you very much for being on the show today, Nick. Having a winner's mindset, whether you're in Australia, America, or Belarus, whether you've had a president that's been in power for 26 years, just you have to believe in winning and that there's no deadline. And the other thing is the importance of the Zoom video call, of the video, using the video in the interaction. If you can't meet someone face to face, forget this text message, typing online, email. Video call is the best way for communication. It's the closest way we have communication with people without having to be there face to face. And we should utilize it more to be in touch with our friends, our family, and also to help our business as well.
Yeah, absolutely right. Thank you, Zach, for your invitation. Thank you for this call. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's been awesome to have you, and I'll see you when I'm in Belarus, brother.